Hey guys, it's Kaylor. Welcome to the YouTube channel. This is the October 2018 update for Adobe XD. We have a lot to cover today, so let's go ahead and get started. First up, we have the fresh new home screen. So now we have the default artboard selections with a tutorial option, but now we have a recent files, and then we also have this bar on the side that we can access our add-ons. So now they've implemented more plugins, and now we can view the links for that, the UI kits, and the app integration links all right here in the home screen. We can also view the editor's choice for the UI kits, plugins, and app integrations as well. So that's really nice and easy to find things now. We now have better integration with Adobe Illustrator. So I have an AI file here. I right click on this and I can open it up with Adobe XD. And you'll see that my artboards have copied over and all of my groupings will be the same. If we go to the layers panel, you can see all of my groupings have transferred over. So that's a nice way to work from Illustrator into Adobe XD. So now we have linked symbols. So here I have a XD file with a bunch of icons in it. I've saved this navigation here in the corner as a symbol, and I'm gonna name this navigation, or just nav. So with it selected, I'm gonna hit Command C to copy it. I'm gonna then go into another file and hit Command V to paste it in. So now you'll see I have this. So here in my symbols panel, you'll notice the blue link. So I have tried this, and if it is red, it's linked incorrectly. So for some reason it's not linked, but if it's blue, it means it is successfully linked, and it gives you a little timestamp today at 2:14 p.m. and it gives you the name of the source file it came from, icon_set.xd. So then we can go back into our icon set and let's just zoom in, and I'm going to change the color of this to a blue color. Once I've done that, I hit Command S to save it. If I return back to the file, you'll notice nothing has changed. So this isn't editing any other document using it unless you want it to. So now down here at the bottom, it says update all. So I have one symbol that has been updated. So if I click on that, you'll now see it transfers to blue. Another thing you can do is you can right click on this. You can delete it. You can edit the source document. You can highlight this on the canvas, or you can make this a local symbol if you no longer want it to be a linked symbol. So this is a great way to stay organized, just having all of your symbols in one file and copying and pasting them as linked symbols into your projects. The next feature is exporting designs to After Effects. So if you want a little bit more motion and you want a little bit more control in the motion, you can go to After Effects and begin to animate your designs now. The old way of doing this was to export all of the individual assets as images and then rebuild it in After Effects, which you can imagine was very time consuming and tedious. So this makes everything flawless. You just go File, Export, and then select After Effects. And so like that, it imports all the elements inside of my file into After Effects. So now I can start to animate this, and I have complete and total control over all the assets that were imported from Adobe XD. So next time you guys design an app or a website, I encourage you guys to export it to After Effects and try to add a little bit of motion in there. So now let's get into the bigger parts of the update. The first thing we have is Auto-animate. So I have two screens, and I'm just gonna quickly show you how this works. So if you're like me and you never open the layers panel and change the layer names of things, you might want to start doing that. So basically what I've done with this app is I've named this image-01, as you can see here. And then in this screen, I've named it the same thing. So this is going to realize when I switch from this screen to this one, that these are the same object, and it's going to apply these changes to this image to get to here. So let's view that. So I'm going to go to Prototype tab. And when I click this expand icon down here in the corner, I want to go to this screen, but I want to auto-animate on the tap, ease out over 0.4 seconds. So then I'm going to select this screen and then just drag it back over and keep the same settings that Adobe XD remembers. So I'm going to click the live preview. And now when I hover over this and click it, you'll notice a few things happen. So I'm keeping the username, the timestamp, and the image, as well as the status bar, and then I have some elements up top and down at the bottom that are just applying this kind of black gradient so we can better view certain elements when they switch over to white, for example. So when I click this, all of that is going to begin to move into the current place. So this is a bit rough, but there is a lot you can do with this, and the auto-animate feature is one that I'm very excited about, and I can't wait to get in and start designing with it. So the next thing is a drag gesture, and this works with the Auto-animate really well. So to pull this off, I have this grouping, this little card, and I've called this lunch. And I have that over here on this one as well. Same thing with meeting on both screens, so that XD knows that we want to animate these two. So you could go into a lot more detail with this, but I just want to show you an example. So I have this selected, and I'm going to drag it over to this screen, and I want to select drag as the trigger, and I want this to auto-animate. So as I drag, I want it to animate into this final position. Same thing when I return, I want to drag this one back into its correct position. So you could do a lot more with this. You could even change the times as it gets down into this position. Since it's after 2 p.m. now, you could auto change it to 3, or you could have it pull up like a little prompt to have you change the time. But for this example, that'll work. We'll just click the live preview. And as I click and hold, I can then drag this below the meeting and then place it. Same thing goes with returning it back to its original state. So let's take a look at changing the time, for example. So let's just change this now to 3 p.m. so it makes a little bit more sense. So now if I hit live preview again, as I drag down, you'll see it automatically changes to 3 p.m. so it then makes sense. And as I drag it up, it goes to 12 p.m. So that's the drag gesture. The last thing we have now is voice commands and speech playback. So to give you an example of that, I have these two dialogues here. Add a meeting at 2 p.m. today and set a reminder 10 minutes before. This is what I want to say, and I want the app to add that to my tasks. So to do this, I'm going to select the artboard and drag it over to this screen. And I want this to be on a voice command. So when I say that command, so I'm going to paste that in, I then want it to transition over to that screen. So then when it's on that screen, I want it to verify that it added that. So we're going to have a voice playback. And that's going to say meeting today at 2 p.m. has been added. And so we'll just select this. And I want this to be a timed event. After 0.2 seconds, I then want it to add a speech playback. And then I can just input that text. So now when I click the live preview, it notifies me that on a Mac, I can hold down the space bar to then begin talking. So I can say, add a meeting at 2 p.m. today and set a reminder 10 minutes before.
Meeting today at 2 p.m. has been added.
And so like that, we've used voice control to change screens, and then we've used the speech playback to give us a little bit of more information of what we just did. All right, guys, so that is it. That is all of the features that they've released in the October 2018 update of Adobe XD. Altogether, I think it was a great update and had a lot of content in there, a lot of changes that I'm looking forward to using. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, consider giving it a thumbs up, subscribe for more design and code related content, and as always, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.